Person who asks a question is a fool for a moment. The person who doesn't ask a question is a fool for life. Here we are with our third agreement. Hope you've been impeccable with your word. I hope you haven't been taking things personally. So what is the third agreement? It's another powerful one. It's talking about don't make assumptions. How do we not make assumptions? Assumptions are easy. Stereotyping people is easy. Generalizing things are easy. It's convenient. Helps us get through our day. It's part of our identity to make assumptions. But when we make assumptions, what are we doing? We're guessing. We're guessing about information. We're guessing about knowledge. We're guessing on our understanding. And the worst part is we believe these assumptions to be truth. Sometimes it might come from authority figures, could be a preacher, a minister, a scientist, a doctor, our parents. And they give us information. It could be falsified information. It could be biased information. It could be from a study that was, made in a biased manner. And if we agree with it, if we believe in it to be truth, then it gets solidified in our head, and it makes us not just ignorant, but it makes us closed-minded in a certain way. So what we need to do is let go of our assumptions. We need to clear our minds. We need to open our minds to possibilities that, our knowledge of the world, our knowledge of each other and the universe definitely could be wrong. The great philosopher Socrates always said, "I know that I know nothing." And he was proclaimed to be the wisest person in the world because he understood that, that the world is so vast, there's so much knowledge out there that he could not proclaim to know anything properly. And when we don't make assumptions, what can we do about it? We can start to ask the right questions. And first, to ask questions, we need to have courage, right? It takes a lot of courage, number one, to admit that we're wrong, that we could be wrong, and to admit a fault or say that, I don't understand this. It takes a lot of humility. It takes a lot of guts, and it's okay. You don't always have to be right. People always want to be the smartest guy in the room, but from my experience, it's better to be the wisest guy in the room. It's better to be the most humble guy in the room, because what it does, it opens you up to knowledge. It allows you to clean out all the junk and all the unnecessary misinformation clogged up in here, and then we can start going on towards the path of finding the right information, finding out for ourselves, testing things out for ourselves, experimenting on what is right and what is misinformation. And most importantly, when it comes to relationships, we need to stop making assumptions. We can't assume on how our loved ones feel. We can't pretend or guess to know how they're doing or what they want from us and from the relationship. We have to keep communication clear, and it's all about communication. Communicating with your partner, your wife, your spouse, your husband, your family members, your best friends. You gotta let them know. And if you don't know what's going on, you need to ask. You need to gather up the guts, gather up the courage to ask what they want, because the truth is you love them. And yeah, asking questions, the right questions, sometimes the truth hurts, but it's better to know so that you guys can act upon proper knowledge, so that you guys understand each other, so that you're not acting upon a guess, you're not acting upon faulty information. So communicate with each other. Don't make assumptions. Don't assume you know your partner's feelings. Everybody's changing. People change. And you gotta let go of those expectations of what you think is going down. Because it's all coming from the ego. Once again, the ego is projecting itself. The ego is creating a false reality of what is. And what is reality? It's it's so complicated, it's so difficult to grasp. The only way you can do that is to develop the development of wisdom. And we start by recognizing the fact we don't know much. And we need to be open-minded to learning. Sure, we need to be skeptical all the time as well. That's part of the deal, So social media now and the internet, there's information all over the place. And, people should be more knowledgeable than ever, but what are people doing? When they're Googling, they're not looking for information. They're looking for affirmation. They're looking to affirm their ego. They're looking to affirm their assumptions and then throw it onto other people. They're trying to demand other people bow down to them and say, hey, I'm right. I have the right knowledge. I'm the smartest guy in the room. Once again, that's just the ego forcing itself on other people. That's just showing true insecurity. So we need to let go of those assumptions. We need to start communicating. We need to start being more open-minded to the possibilities that we are wrong sometimes. And we need to open ourselves up to each other, communicating clearly, and expecting love out of each other, not arguments, right? It's a waste of time arguing on Facebook, proving other people that you're wrong and that, I'm right and whatnot. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a third agreement. Do your best. We're going to talk about the most important agreement to finish everything the next following day. So best wishes. I love you all. Take care.